From the Pasadena Media Center, this is News Brief for Friday, April 15th, 2022. The Pasadena City Council voted to draft an ordinance to end the city's commercial and residential eviction moratorium. The moratorium was originally put in place in March of 2020 due to the COVID-19 outbreak. It prohibited landlords from evicting residential tenants for non-payment of rent if the tenant is unable to pay rent due to financial issues stemming from the pandemic, or from pursuing no-fault eviction unless necessary for health and safety reasons. It also prohibited landlords from evicting business tenants for non-payment of rent if the tenant is unable to pay rent due to the financial impacts of COVID-19. Once the council adopts the ordinance lifting commercial and residential tenant protections, landlords may begin court filings for eviction for non-payment of rent. The commercial moratorium will end next month when the City Council adopts the ordinance. The residential moratorium ends on June 30th. Tenants will be required to repay any back rent within 6 months after the expiration of the emergency period. Recently, hundreds of volunteers gathered on the steps of City Hall to celebrate the submission of over 15,000 signatures supporting a ballot measure for rent control in Pasadena. The signatures must now be verified by city leaders before registered voters in Pasadena can vote on a rent control and just cause charter amendment. The amendment would limit rent increases to 75% of the annual increase in the Consumer Price Index, establish a Pasadena Rental Housing Board, and provide guidelines around just cause evictions. The amendment seeks to limit evictions unless a landlord can show there is good cause, such as for non-payment of rent or a breach of contract. It would also limit rent increases to once a year and allow tenants to petition for decreases if repairs are not made or services are withheld. If passed, the amendment would further require a tenant to be provided with relocation assistance if a landlord is reclaiming an apartment or removing a unit from the rental market. The City Council's Finance Committee has approved a $2 million housing loan agreement with Heritage Housing Partners, LLC. The project involves converting 2 existing buildings located at 2322 East Foothill Boulevard into a housing project for young people experiencing homelessness between the ages of 18 and 24. The buildings are in close proximity to both of Pasadena City College's campuses on Colorado and Foothill Boulevards, and may also serve as potential housing for tenants who are PCC students. In its report to the committee, the Housing Department cited a recent UCLA study that estimated that 1 in every 5 California community college students experiences homelessness or housing insecurity. The study also said that community colleges have the highest rates of homelessness and housing insecurity across the state's 3 public systems of post-secondary education. According to the city's housing department, the total project would cost $2.2 million. Aside from a $2 million city loan, HHP will use $200,000 in private funds to pursue the housing project. For Pasadena Media, I'm Joe Carbonetta.